Hey everybody, what's up gang, and welcome to the I Am One YouTube channel, which is a channel all about self-love and self-understanding through astrology and spirituality, baby, and everything in between, because I dive deep into understanding thyself, because you need to know thyself, you know what I mean, to navigate through life. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the sun sign and Scorpio because it is the 8th zodiac sign and it rules over the 8th house. So if you're not subscribed, do the right thing, and if you already subscribed, gang, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time baby girl drops a video, you know what I mean. And without wasting any time, let's get into this video. Intro. People under the sun sign Scorpio, or if you have Scorpio energy in your natal chart, this basically means that you are a fixed sign. So fixed sign basically means that you are stubborn. You hardly change your mind, you hardly change your perspective, you hardly change who you are, you hardly change anything in your surrounding, because you're not about that change. You are a consistent person. You like consistency. You like, even when you get into a relationship, you expect somebody to be consistent, and any slight change in their consistency is gonna fuck you up, because you want them to stay who they were when they initially tried to get with you. Okay, like point blank, period. And being a fixed sign also means that with your consistency, you are able to actually see a project through until you see the end result. Like, you're not somebody to start something and not finish it. You're actually not an initiator of anything, right? So you will take an idea and actually follow through with it until the finish, because you have all of that fixed energy. Fixed energy also means that you are loyal as fuck. I mean,
like, how you not gonna trust somebody that don't change? Like, that person don't change.
They don't change. They're not gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, no, fuck this shit, I'm over it. Like, they are, you, when you in it, you in it. Like, you in it, and you expect the same energy that you give out, you expect it to be brought back to you. So you expect people to be loyal to you.
To stay when they say they're gonna stay. Because why are you changing your mind? And now I have
5 minutes later.
Scorpios are water signs. So water signs, we have Cancer, Pisces, and of course Scorpio. So how I personally see water signs is that, like, Pisces is more of like upper level of the ocean, because they're very emotionally expressive. They know how to express their emotions, right? Everybody knows that Pisces, they're emotional as fuck. And then we have lower level, like middle, not really lower, but middle level, which is Cancer. So Cancer, you have to dive a little deep, into their emotions, because they have a whole hard shell represented by the crab. Like, they don't want to share unless they know you. And then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is all the way at the bottom of the ocean, in the deep dark ocean. They're born in the darkness. The darkness is their home, right? So when it comes to a Scorpio, even if you try, even if you're close to them, you probably not get anything out of it. Like, because Scorpios don't like sharing. Like, they don't like sharing. And this can be seen by how they take time to fall in love. Like, Scorpios don't just fall in love. Like, they will get infatuated by you, but really to be like, oh my gosh, now, and just start sharing their dark side with you, it's gonna take a lot of time. Like, it's gonna take a lot of time, because you have to dive deep into that ocean and get to the darkness where they can finally share the darkness with you. And you better make sure that you don't leave, because when you leave, that means that they had to, like, now get out of that water and get to the surface level. Like, do you know how much work that takes? That's why Scorpios are just like, most Scorpios are done with love, because they understand that when you are in that darkness, you need to be there, ride or die, fixed sign. You need to be there until the end. You know what I mean? Like, don't change your mind. Why are we changing?
If you fuck me over, there will be no second chances, baby.
So water signs are known to be very intuitive, and this is because water holds a lot of emotion. Water is emotion, which is energy and motion. So as a water sign, this means that you have a lot of energy within yourself, and your energy is very sensitive, right? So you're sensitive to like the energies that are around you, which makes you very intuitive. So water is very powerful in the sense that the world has 70% of water, and we are made of 70% of water. So this means that as a water sign, baby girl, baby boy, you know, like you can erode anything that you want. If you are persistent, you have the ability to move rocks, to mold them, moving and slowly saturating the rocks until even the most stubborn rocks and land have no any other choice but to fall into you, like fall for you. Water has waves, currents, depth, tides. It is the surface where the water hits the surface of the ocean, and then it brings light, it brings rainbows. So Scorpios, as much as they are dark people, in the right light, you'll get the most amazing Scorpio that you can ever dream of, you know, because Scorpios at the end of the day, they just need someone to shine a light into who they are there so that they can take out their authentic self. So water has healing properties, and this is because, like I said, water has a lot of emotion, right? So whatever you speak into water, it shall be. If you speak life into water, it shall, you know, bring life. If you speak death, you shall receive death. So that is a Scorpio's energy. They're very absorbent of other people's energies, you know, especially if they don't know and understand their own energies. So this can be seen in how, like, you can get different sides of a Scorpio. You know, a lot of people be like, ooh, you're a Scorpio. And I'm like, I'm the best Scorpio because, you know, I don't let your energy taint my energy. You know what I mean? I'm still going to give you my energy. So with, like, when it comes to Scorpios, if you speak life into them, they'll give you life, you know, like their energy is very rejuvenating. They know how to like bring out the best in you. And being a water sign also means that you know, and it's very specific to Scorpios because Scorpios have the ability to see through souls. Like they can see your soul and strip you naked, like not even your clothes, like they strip your whole being, you know, and they can like look intensely into your soul. You know, they're known to have very intense eyes because their eyes look into your soul, you know. And there's a saying that eyes are actually, you know, the gate or the gateway to the soul, you know. So if you look at a Scorpio or you look into a Scorpio's eyes, you actually see a reflection of yourself. And I used to get uncomfortable being a Scorpio sun sign, you know, growing up, because when I looked at people in the eye, like I'll just get this creepy feeling of just knowing who they are without them saying anything, that I stopped looking people in the eye. You know, I never explained it because it was just so weird. People get weird out by me trying to explain why I don't want to look at them in their eyes. But when a Scorpio looks at you in the eye, it's like you see a reflection of yourself, like the water. It's like when you're looking into the water, at the water, you see a reflection of yourself, right? So Scorpios know how to strip you naked of your strength and your weaknesses, and they know how to reflect that very well, you know. So that's why Scorpios are very good at being like being revengeful, because they know which buttons to, you know, press. They know your insecurities, they know your strengths. The same way they can bring out the best vision in you, you know. And when you are with a Scorpio, they force you to face yourself and to face parts of yourself that you might not be comfortable with, or that you might have been running away, because Scorpios are all about facing the darkness, facing our shadow self, right? Shadow self being that I'm going to make a video about shadow self and how to heal that. Shadow self is things that we went through that define us, or that are part of defining us, that we haven't healed from, that we are running away. So when you come into a Scorpio's energy, they actually strip you of that skin. They shed that snake skin so that you can become your authentic self, you know, because Scorpios are very authentic. They're true to themselves, they're true to their darkness, you know, unless maybe they unevolved and they're still avoiding that part of themselves. But a Scorpios has no fear over who they truly are, right? So that is the energy that they bring out of people. That's why people are just like, oh no, we don't like Scorpios and all of that. But
quite frankly, in my opinion, everybody needs a Scorpio. They just act like they don't, because it's just all better to think that y'all don't need Scorpios.
I'm kidding. Scorpios, being water signs, they're very emotional, you know, but you'll never see Scorpios emotions, you know, unless you are like deep with them and you understand that, you know, they are very emotionally responsive, because most of the time they don't even let people get into their circle. They prefer to be alone and all of that. Like, Scorpios are just weird. And I'm also Scorpio, but it's whatever, right? So when it comes to like Scorpios, they know how to put a poker face in such a way that you do not know anything about them besides what they show you. And this is because growing up, they probably face a situation where they had to tame their emotions, or like not express their emotions because of how intense it is, and they realize that people cannot handle the intensity of their emotions. And this, it was done by them holding in so much emotion within them, so much energy within them, but pulling out this face, or this poker face, or this facade that there's nothing going on. Like when you look at a Scorpio, you think that they're so sad and there's nothing going on, but there's actually so much going on, you know. And sometimes they have like a bitch resting face, where it's just like you think that they bitchy as fuck and they're probably gonna be rude at you, and they're probably thinking about unicorns, rainbows, and, you know, like funny things, but they're also not gonna laugh because it's just so weird. You laughing by yourself, you know. But like, they have this energy where people will probably constantly ask them, are you okay? And they're just like,
Bitch, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just like quiet.
because they contain that energy so well, you know, because they understood that they can't let go of this energy. It's who they are, so they just learn how to work with it and not just be so expressive of it. But when it comes to Scorpio energy, when you're around a Scorpio, you already know the intensity. You can feel the intensity without them even doing anything. So imagine if they were just like, you know, because yeah, my energy is probably intense in this video or in any other video, but let me know in the description, because I'd like to know. So water has vibration, it has frequency and currency. So a lot of people do not know this about Scorpios, but Scorpios are very driven, like money driven. They love, you know, acquiring assets and becoming wealthy. And this is because, you know, water is currency, and one of the wealthiest people or most successful people are Scorpios.
Whether you like it or not, it is proven. I've researched it, and it's like
well-known names of celebrities are Scorpios because they strive for success. They just like, they downplay it, or people just downplay it. I think people just downplay it because people always trying to downplay Scorpios. I don't get it. I'm just like, what? Do you know how powerful we are? You know? And speaking of that power, like a more like evolved Scorpio uses their power to empower people, you know, and a less evolved Scorpio actually seeks the power. They want to have the power, you know, like Ramaphosa. But you got time for that nigga. Bad Scorpio. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the planets, right? So Scorpios is actually ruled by 2 planets. How powerful do you get? Like, how powerful do you get, Scorpio? Like, baby. So you're ruled by 2 planets, which is planet Pluto and planet Mars. So planet Pluto is the furthest planet from the sun. You know, it doesn't receive any sunlight, you know, so it's very dark in there. Like, it's a very dark energy, and Pluto is known to be a very powerful, like, any planet. This is because darkness is very powerful, right? Not in a sense of like evil and shit, but in a sense of out of darkness creation is made, That's where you create in the darkness. Even when you meditate, you go into total darkness, which is shutting down your eyes and actually seeing through your mind's eye. This is one of the reasons Scorpios are very intuitive. And another reason is creation happens in your mind's eye, number one, and number two, creation happens in the dark, because you need the darkness for light to come through so that creation can start happening. If we go back into how creation started, everything was total darkness. So this is why Pluto is a very powerful planet, and Scorpios are very creative. They're creative in everything that they do, whether it's pulling off a good hairstyle, or just doing something like music, anything that is very creative. Scorpios are really good at it. So Pluto rules over death and rebirth, loss and inheritance, endings and beginnings, transformation, right? So Scorpios go through a lot of transformation, and they usually go through a lot of transformation after experiencing hardship, right? So hardship forces Scorpios to transform. That's why in tarot they are actually represented by the Tower card, because it's all about overcoming and overcoming. That's Scorpio energy. And if we look at around Scorpio season, that's where a lot of losses happen. So if you want to better understand a Scorpio's energy, you need to think in terms of when you have built a house, right? You're living in a beautiful house, but you actually want to upgrade it, right? You want something better. So what are you gonna do? You have to destroy the house and start on a new foundation, right? Because now you want bigger and better things. But now the emotion that comes with destroying what you already know, starting all over, building new memories, letting go of the past and all of that, puts you in a state of oh my god. It's when you lose someone, now you're losing all the memories that you've had with them, you're losing their presence, you're losing it's actually that loss, that's why a lot of Scorpios go through depression, because they experience those dark thoughts and energies on a daily basis, and it takes a more evolved Scorpio to separate themselves from their losses and everything, and understand that they actually rule over the losses, right? You rule over what is happening, because even if you're destroying that house and the memories and everything that came with being comfortable in that place, there is something out there which is better. And that's one of the reasons Scorpios always believe that when there is an ending, they don't cry over an ending, because it always means there's a new beginning, right? Because everything has a new beginning. And honestly, you can't cry over something that you rule over, because I always say I don't lose. I don't lose, because how can I lose when I rule over losses? How can something that I rule over defeat me? You know what I mean? Okay, sharp, if it's not mine, it's not mine. That's one of the reasons it's left. So that's Scorpionic energy. And you rule over inheritances, right? So inheritance does not really have to be money, although it could be money. It's also ancestral gifts, spirituality, being connected with thyself, your roots, and all of that. And Scorpionic energy also rules over the root chakras, because it's about the foundation, building, like I said, building from a fresh foundation, and inheriting from the universe and your ancestors and all of that. So Pluto also rules over death, like I said. So Scorpios are not scared of death. They actually welcome death, right? Not in the sense that, oh my gosh, I'm ready to die, although I thought it was just me. I used to get so creeped out, Scorpio to a Scorpio, right? I used to sleep in my bed, and I would imagine someone I loved actually dying, and I'll just go through emotions of oh my gosh, what if they left, and I'm just and I later realized that it's actually a Scorpio thing to imagine death and actually go through emotions. And the people are alive, so I actually did not manifest that, thank God. But like just going through that, we are not scared of death. We welcome death in like I said, not in the sense that we are ready to die or that we wish death upon somebody, but we understand that the death, like what death really means, right? This is one of the things that I want to get into, that Scorpios are born around the time where the veil between life and death is like so thin, and we can actually like speak to spirits that have passed on. And this is one of the reasons in like America and other states they actually celebrate Halloween. You know, that's when the veil is so dark and it's like the darkness and all of that, and that is Scorpionic energy. You know, like they are being celebrated without actually knowing that they actually celebrating us. Like that was so crazy, but it is what it is. We're just gonna keep moving because we know we the shit. That's all I say.
I said what I said,
As
and
always.
I'm not changing on it, okay?
Scorpios are actually a reminder that there is like other dimensions, you know, and I have Scorpio Mercury, which means that I also think like a Scorpio and I speak like a Scorpio. So I like getting into really dark conversations because I know there are other dimensions, you know, and I like sharing that. And Scorpios are very profound. Like they know that there are other dimensions that we need to tap into, and it does not have to like be all darkness and woo-woo, because, you know, you have light in you, right? You come after Libra energy, which, you know, teaches us about the balance, which is the good and the bad and the bad and the good. And you have a lot of good in you, and that's one of the reasons you just like traveling into different dimensions. And if you're not doing that, I suggest that you do. And if you don't know how, this is where you subscribe. So Scorpio, you are a very mysterious person, and this is because you are ruled by planet Pluto, which rules over death. And death is very mysterious and unpredictable, you know. Sometimes death does reveal itself, you know, to like people close to it, but sometimes it's just like, you know, unpredictable, right? So that is Scorpio energy. You know, they're very mysterious and they don't reveal everything, you know, like, you know, and you must always understand how everything is connected, you know, everything is oneness. There's no separation. Separation is only in the mind. It's an illusion. So Scorpios tend to do this, being mysterious in everything, to protect themselves, right? Because if death revealed itself, then it wouldn't be a mystery, or it wouldn't be like come with so much intense emotion, right? Like it will just be vulnerable to like other people's opinions, or like people trying to control it and all of that, right? So that is Scorpionic energy. Oh, okay, so Pluto also represents personal power. Like I said, very powerful energy. So in order to understand your personal power, you need to acknowledge your light, but also acknowledge your darkness. Acknowledge the parts of yourself that you don't feel that they are authentic, or that other people will like love about you and all of that. And that is your power when you finally have the like you finally in a space where you can express yourself in such a way that you are not really worried about this another person. And personal power is about inner peace, right? So inner peace is created through battling or through healing parts of yourself that other people, or not even other people, that you yourself are not comfortable with facing. So with personal power comes personal responsibility, right? So your responsibility is actually letting go, and your power is actually your power, right? So your biggest challenge will be letting go, because you are such a controlling person, right? You want a certain outcome to happen a certain way, and your biggest challenge is gonna be letting go and letting God, the universe, you know, Allah, whoever you see as your higher self, like take over. Whether your higher self is you are still God, which everything connected, oneness, you know, you can't avoid God because you are God. Pluto doesn't receive light, right? So this is one of the reasons Scorpios had like a very traumatic childhood, which did not have love, or did not allow them to express themselves and because the sun is where you express yourself. The sun is very expressive. Like when the sun comes out, everybody wants to look good. And summer, sun,
you see this, you see this.
but when it's like dark, and your biggest challenge is just like letting your authentic self come out and not just be like in a box, and always feeling sorry for yourself and all of these things, and actually healing. I think I've said healing a lot of times. That heart chakra. So another dark side to Scorpios is that they're not trusting at all. They do not trust anybody besides themselves, and sometimes they don't trust themselves, to actually do the right thing. And also they are so like exposed to the darkness or the dark side of people that they know that people can like that's why they don't like getting vulnerable, because they also understand that being vulnerable means that you're giving someone actually power to get into your life and actually hurt you. And one of the reasons, because Scorpios growing up, they actually had someone they trusted, right? Whether it was a sibling, parent, somebody they looked up to, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. Personally for me, it was a boyfriend who I actually trusted, and once they broke my trust, it just broke trust for everyone, right? So it's just like, when a Scorpio does not trust you, it's not because it's not about you, it's about them, right? And it's also not about the person that broke their trust, but it's more about them, because one thing I've also realized is that when somebody breaks your trust, it's not even about them, it's about you. Like, you take it personally that,
how did I trust this person? How did I let this person?
right? So when a Scorpio does not trust you, it's not necessarily about you, but they just need to see that they can like be vulnerable enough to let you in, and probably like not even hurt them, but to nurture that part of themselves that is so broken, right? Because the reason like they take trust so hard is because like with the Scorpio, everything is intense, right? So trusting you is actually giving you a part of themselves. It's not just like, oh, I trust you. No, it's like they're giving you a part of themselves, because trust is very important to them. Loyalty is very important to them. Like, they hold it.
You can be broke as long as you're loyal, right?
So like that is Scorpion energy. So once you break that, they don't want you to break that, because now it's a reminder of how much they've healed and how much they're going to heal, and it's just like a lot, right? So for them, they would rather not deal with the healing and going through the emotions than just like to not trust,
Trust issues.
With a Scorpio, you just have to be patient. You just have to be very patient with them, and just like not rush, and just understand that it's gonna take time and it's gonna be authentic. When a Scorpio sees that you actually are who you say you are, they're gonna naturally trust you, right? It's just gonna come naturally. Scorpios are not really forgiving, and this brings me to a part that I actually want to like talk about. So there's 3 levels of being a Scorpion. There is the Scorpion, there is the eagle, and then there's like the phoenix, right? So the Scorpion is more of like, they want to hurt you, they want to revenge you, they want to come for you, they want to do everything that you did to them, like. And when they come at you, they're gonna not come straight at you. They're gonna be sneaky. They're gonna come at you when you least expect it. When you think that everything is alright, Scorpio has forgotten. That's when they come for you. That is Scorpio. Like, don't play a Scorpio. Like, I'm a Scorpio, but I don't play with Scorpio, because I know they're ruthless. Like, their poison is so deadly that they even scared of it for them, like by themselves. Like, when they come for you, they don't come for you to be the same person. They come to actually destroy you, because whatever you did destroyed a part of themselves. So they're not going to destroy a part of you, they're going to destroy you dead. Okay, so like I said, a Scorpio's biggest challenge is letting go, and this also can be seen in how they hardly forgive. Like, they hardly let go. They Like, if you promise a Scorpio something, you better follow up with that shit, because they're not gonna mention it. They're gonna mention it when you least expect it. So if you said you want to take a Scorpio on a date and you forget, they're not gonna say anything on the day. They're gonna say it when you least expect it, like when you have forgotten about it, and they're just like,
remember the day you told me you're gonna take me out on a date and you did it?
you know, because they're not forgetting. They hold evidence. They have a lot of memory, like I said previously, and the biggest challenge is just like letting go. Just know that it's a challenge as it is. It's not like they tend.
They want to do it. It's just like, it's a challenge, you know?
So, and the second stage is basically the eagle. This is where the Scorpion has actually evolved, you know. They have experienced some sort of enlightenment, and they're not like so revengeful as like a Scorpion, where they actually attack you and they're like, I am karma, I'm gonna come for you and all of that, right? Even though they're low-key about it. But like, where now as an eagle, they also do not hunt for the food or try, you know, survive. They're not in survival mode and all of that, because the chakras are aligned and they're more like enlightened, right? So they're like the eagle, and they only go down to get the food when they need to, and they actually just like stand there and watch karma happen. You know, they know that karma, you know, the law of karma is there, you know, but they do not handle things. They just watch from above, right? And then we have the final stage, which is the phoenix. So the phoenix is one that is like one with God, you know, like that one just doesn't have the time and energy for anything but to just like, you know, center themselves, and they're not revengeful. They're not like looking out into karma to solve that shit out. They just let go, you know, like they just like so enlightened and understand like the experience, what life is all about, the experiences that we are here to have. Like they basically just like one with God, you know, and they have ascended into their truest form, which is a phoenix. And a lot of people say phoenix do not exist. So a Scorpio like that probably don't exist.
Until you make me, baby.
They don't exist, but neither does anything exist, you know. No mind, no matter, no matter, no mind.
I know that's right.
Well, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, you are faced with situations that force you to transform. And when you are in a Scorpio's environment, you will be faced with situations that force you to transform as a person. And this can be seen when a Scorpio and a Scorpio get together. They are both forced to transform. Another one might transform into like the darker side, and the other one might transform into like being a better Scorpio. And this was clearly evident with Future and Sierra, because they both Scorpios, you know, they bring out so much intensity in each other that the other one changed for the better and the other one changed for the streets. You know what I mean? So we must always understand that we live in a world of duality, where there is good in everything and there's bad in everything, right? Like good and bad, right? So as a Scorpio, you must always understand that your darkness does not have to rule over you. Your thoughts or your dark thoughts do not have to rule over you. You actually the ruler of your thoughts. You are the ruler of your mind and your emotions, right? So when it comes to this, I just want to like give you a little bit of advice that has worked for me, because I dealt with a lot of negative thoughts, you know, having my Mercury and Scorpio also, and my Sun and other aspects. And it's just like I have a lot of Scorpio energy, which is so much darkness. And as a Scorpio, it is easier to get into like to follow through with like dark emotions or dark thoughts. And that's one of the reasons Scorpios tend to get into like self-medicating, you know, addictions, you know, escapism, like anything to not be in reality, because reality sometimes is just so fucked up, you know. So what I did was through meditation. So meditation, I've learned that you don't have to sit in that, you know, like you can just meditate through something that you love. Like doing art can be very meditative. doing something you love can be very meditative, because that's where you clear your mind, right? Anything that you can clear your mind with, whether it's exercising or whatever it is, right? Because an idle mind is the devil's playground, right? It's the negative thoughts playground. So just understand that you are not your negative energy, but you rule over the negative energies, right? You rule over the darkness, and the darkness does not only have to be bad. In darkness, like I said, there is good. So you can turn away from looking at the darkness that you have and the flaws and the scars that you have had in your life, and stop looking at them as like something that defines you in a negative way, but use those things in a positive way. I'm gonna share my personal stories on this channel also, because I feel like that can be very helpful, especially for like people with Scorpio energy, because like I was at a point where I thought that it was the end of my life and all of that, and just a change in perspective can be very like fundamental for you. And I think that is what you need to know, especially in this world of transformation, of everything transforming and everything changing, just changing your perspective. Like you don't have to change who you are as a person, but just that switch. Okay, so Scorpio, you roll by Mars. You know what I mean? Because like Mars is just like, because a lot of people neglect the Mars energy, and the Mars energy is like, that's who I am, though. Why are you neglecting that? Why are you telling me all about the darkness, but you ain't telling me about the good shit? You know what I mean? So you rule by planet Mars, which is the planet of passion. That's why I'm coming with that energy, action. I'm coming with that action, aggression, sexuality, creation, baby. You rule over the sacral chakra, baby, the chakra of creation. We use that energy to make babies and to create worlds and dimensions, honey. So as a Scorpio, you're a very aggressive person, but because you are so chilled and you pull out this poker face, people don't know you have that aggression until they try you, and you're just like,
bitch, not here. We didn't come here to play, but it's time for that.
And you are a passionate person. When a Scorpio loves you, they love you with passion, with everything in them. They love you with their whole being. When the Scorpio says they love you, they ain't playing, unless they're dark-sided Scorpio and they're trying to suck you dry, and nobody got time for that. But a genuine Scorpio will love you to the core. Like Scorpio energy is like, give me all of that, you know what I mean? And you are a very action-orientated person. You like, you plan shit to the core. Like you're very strategic with your things. Like you're very strategic. Like you plan shit to the core, you know what I mean? And when you have goals, you go for them. You have that passion to go for the things that you want, like you don't let nobody stand in your way. If it's yours, you gonna get it, like Scorpio is also like pursuing. Like Scorpios like pursuing. I like pursuing, and now I'm actually getting into this energy of actually understanding that sacral chakra energy is also about attracting. So I'm gonna pursue you through attracting. I'm not gonna come at you, but you're gonna see me see you see each other, and when a Scorpio loves you, they were like, they have undressing eyes, as much as they undress you to the soul, like Scorpios have very sexual eyes, because that's all that Mars energy, seductive, and like and sacral chakra is also where the money is, creativity is, like I say, Scorpios are very creative. We rule by creation, baby. Mars, creativity, the arts, and using your sexual energies, you can actually manifest the things that you want, because sexual energies are there for creation, right? I mean, like we create a whole human beings with their own thoughts, emotions, and decisions, and view in life and all of that, and we take an advantage of that shit, And Mars is also the planet of like magnetism, like I said, attraction, seduction. So Scorpios are very fierce. They're very seductive. They're very sexy. Like with the Scorpio, it's very hard also sometimes to understand if somebody is approaching you because they like you, and most people like they come at Scorpios with this mentality that they just wanna, get down, and they don't try to get to know a Scorpio's mind, because the Scorpio's mind is very dope, deep and all of that. And you deep down crave that deep connection with somebody so that you can express yourself sexually, but everybody is just feeding off that sexual energy and not actually wanting that deep depth situation, because people don't want to get deep these days. I don't know, everybody's just tired of emotions, and I'm just like come on. But also this Mars energy makes you very fearless. That's one of the reasons you're fearless. You're not scared of anything, you're not scared of anyone. You will stand up for yourself when you need to, but you don't stand up for yourself when you don't have to. You'd rather chill at the back of the class and not be noticed, unless you have some fiery energy in your rising being how your environment sees you or how other people see you. You know what So your polar opposite is actually Taurus, and this is one of the reason Scorpios are very
possessive, obsessive, controlling,
like to the T, because you'll just want things to be done your way. You want, when somebody says they're for you, they should only be for you and nobody else. When somebody says that they love you, they shouldn't be messing with nobody else but you, right? So that is Scorpionic energy, being possessive, and with you don't do it like a Taurus. You actually put some intensity to it. Like somebody can feel that you're trying to hold them down. Like, nigga, where you going? Bitch, where you going? Where you going? I once dated a Scorpio, so hey. When it comes to Taurus energy, it's all about like possessions for themselves, and when it comes to Scorpio, it's all about partnership, because you come after Libra. So now Libra was all about
the wedding, the fairy tale, the oh my gosh, like the honeymoon,
and then now Scorpio is actually sitting down and talking about like shared assets, talking about, like now the serious things that are actually talked about in the marriage that people don't actually think that it happens until it happens, like that is Scorpionic energy. So you're about like shared things, like you are about sharing, shared partnership, shared assets, shared. So that is your vibe, like getting into something with someone, that commitment. So every star sign rules over a certain body part, and as a Scorpio you rule over, drum roll please, the sexual organs, and this is one of the reasons Scorpios are known to be the freaks of the zodiac signs, because they know how to do the deeds. They know how to do it right, baby. They know how to put some detail into that shit. They're very passionate about it. But unless you have, it's gonna depend on your natal chart, on obviously, but when overall Scorpio energy is that you take sex very seriously. You understand that sex is not just about like, organs coming together. It's all about like energies, exchanging energies, soul ties, intertwining, it's about like, it's also godly, because sex has been demonized, or I don't know, like everybody, I don't know, I'm just getting this energy of like sex, right? But when we talk about sex, we actually are talking about the merging of two souls and, God, coming in between that energy. And it's like so beautiful and so pure that a life is created, right? So that energy, and I read it somewhere that a baby is created either through love or lust, right? Because those are the emotions that draw us to people, right? Whether you love the person or it is just lust, right? So when like a Scorpio understands that sex is just not sex, that's why they take it like so seriously, because they understand that it's actually like, that's when the energies of death and life like play together, right? the energies of pain and pleasure. Like it's just so thin, like the veil is thin. The veil between like the polar opposites of things is like very thin. The good and the bad, the death and rebirth, like all of these things. That's why, you know, when you're doing it, sometimes you feel out of breath and all of these things. You feel like you're about to, I don't know, die or something like that, you know, depending also on how you're doing it. So basically sex is about divine connection, right? So it's about exchanging energies, soul ties. It's about, you know, uniting spirits and all of that. And this is one of the reasons the world is so upside down, because everybody's just exchanging energies with everybody. Now your energy is all over, and I'm just like what, you know, like it's about divine connection. And Scorpios understand this, and this is one of the reasons Scorpios, unless, like I said, you have like other aspects of you that, you know, takes sex as a very playful activity, but you know, Scorpios tend to like take the act of sex very seriously, because they want to connect with your mind, your body, and your spirit, and your whole being, you know, like they understand that divine connection that happens when you intertwine with somebody of the same frequency or of the same energies. Every star sign rules over a certain animal, and guess what Scorpio is ruled by? A Scorpio, you know what I mean? So a Scorpio in the right light, you know, is so beautiful. Like it's so beautiful. Scorpios just want to be shared in the right light, you know, because they already don't get, you know, the sunlight. They don't get, you know, like, and that's one of the reasons people still don't recognize Drake as being relevant or whatever, even though when he drops, you know, because that is Scorpionic energy, you know. And Scorpion energy is very intense in such a way that people with a moon sign and Scorpios tend to get into like self-destructive behavior, like getting into addictions and, you know, doing all of these things, you know. And I think also it's the dark emotions, but at the end of the day, you know, nothing has control over you. You always have a choice. We given, you know, the gift, you know, the first gift is the present moment, and the second gift God gave us is, you know, the gift of choice, right? And with that choice, we make a choice every day. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna move into how to center your energy as a Scorpio. So Scorpio, as much as you ruled by Pluto, the planet of darkness and all of that, you must always remember that you rule over that darkness. You understand? You have all these energies within yourself that you rule over. So when it comes to negative thoughts, you should not let negative thoughts or negative emotions be the ones that are controlling how you feel or how you think of yourself and others, but you should be the one to control them. And this makes you a very conscious person. This is what conscious living is all about, right? And but I'm going to dive more into that when, you know, I get more into depth of other things other than our star signs, and you know, but when it comes to being a water sign, you must always remember that as much as you like being in control, you must also allow yourself to let go and just flow, because water has a lot of fluidity. When water gets into a container, it takes the shape of a container, right? So you must be, you know, flexible, you know, and allow yourself to have new experiences as much as you do not like change. Okay, and another thing, you need to get in touch with your creativity, can get in touch with your sexuality and all of that, but I'm going to get into all of that when I start talking about the different chakras and how to balance them and center your energetic field and your energy centers, which are your chakras. And also going back to being a water sign, like I said, water absorbs emotions, right? So you should be careful of the words that you speak to yourself and the thoughts that you feed yourself. And if I have forgotten anything, I'll make sure to put it somewhere here or here. And thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that you are subscribed if you haven't, and if you already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I drop a video. I love you so much, and I hope to see each other, you know, to feel your energy in my other videos. Peace, love, and namaste.